Jó napot kívánok!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here at the publicity of the press, I would like to extend a very heartfelt welcome to the President, who is the President of the Kurdistan region. In our language, in the European languages, region means something different than in some other parts of the world. We all know of that difficult situation that was established in Iraq and that region. Today, we can welcome a leader at our bilateral official meeting who is one of the representative of that stability which is missing, which is a very painful thing for us, a stability in Iraq and in the region. A person who is not short of any political courage, so that is why in the eye of the Hungarians he has always enjoyed respect. So there are very few peoples and leaders in the world who are courageous enough and can also provide stability in the region that he is an elected leader of. Last November, we signed a memorandum of understanding. We opened our general consulate in Erbil, and we have always supported that politics, which was for the involvement of the Sunnite and Kurdish people into the political dialogue. You probably are all aware that the Hungarian parliament about a month ago decided that we're going to send Hungarian soldiers to this region, and for the preparation of this activity is now in progress. Our officers are already on the region. I think that the Hungarian parliament made a good decision. We are also convinced that about Western values and about Western commitments, it's not enough to talk about, but it is also worthwhile to do something about that. For the Hungary's identity, it is very important that mission that we pursue in Erbil and in the neighborhood and in Kurdistan. We are fully convinced that the stability of the region of Iraq is not only important for the people who live there, but it is primarily important for them. But the stability is also very important for the western part of the world and for us Europeans as well. So this is what justifies the straightforward contribution of Hungary. We are convinced that so that the pressure of the immigration in Europe that is ever increasing, so that this should be treated properly. For that, the situation must be stabilized in the Middle East and in Northern Africa. The ISIS is not only concentrating on Iraq, but this is an overall comprehensive threat and destabilization force. We are fully convinced that Europe must support all peace activities with our primary objective to wind up terrorist organizations on one hand. On the other hand, we have to support the economy. We need a stable Iraq and a stable Kurdistan. We need a stable Kurdish region, because without a stable Kurdish region and a stable Iraqi region, it would be not enough to create stability in Europe either. So, distinguished Excellency, the President, thank you for visiting us. Thank you for availing all those opportunities that we have offered. We have here about 30 Kurdish stipendium students in the framework of the Stipendium Hungaricum. Now we also agreed about the enhancement and extension of our economic activities. We have to say thanks for MOL, the Hungarian oil company, which in the most difficult and even in the riskiest times did not decide about coming out from that place, but it remained there. And today in the region, this is one of our flagships, and their work is considered to be of strategic importance in the future as well. We also agreed about cultural cooperation activities as well. So we very much hope that the years ahead of us and the ever-strengthening Kurdish and Hungarian relations will be done by fully and mutually respecting each other.
His Excellency Masoud Barzani, President of the Iraqi Kurdistan region, to make his statement, please.
سيادة دولة الرئيس، أود أن تسمح لي
المباحثات التي أجريناها كانت مفيدة ومثمرة، ولاحظنا أن هناك مجالات واسعة جدا للتعاون بيننا في المستقبل، وأؤكد أن التعاون بيننا سيشمل كل المجالات. وأنا أتفق مع سيادتكم في أن شركة الطاقة مول قامت بعمل جبار في كردستان، وأظهرت شجاعة فائقة في الصمود في كردستان في وقت كان تهديد الإرهابيين جديا، وهذا موضع تقدير من قبلنا ومن قبل شعب كردستان. السيد الرئيس، كما تعلمون فإن شعبنا تعرض إلى أشرس هجمة من قبل أخطر منظمة إرهابية في المنطقة، ولكن والحمد لله بفضل صمود وبطولة البيشمركة ومساعدة أصدقائنا من دول التحالف تم كسر شوكة المنظمة الإرهابية داعش. والآن لا أستطيع أن أقول بأن خطر داعش قد انتهى، ولكن داعش أصيب بخسارة كبيرة وبهزيمة كبيرة، ونأمل في المستقبل القريب سنستكمل العمليات العسكرية لإلحاق الهزيمة النهائية بهذه المنظمة الإرهابية. إنني أقدر دور برلمان المجر، وأود أن أشكر شعب المجر وبرلمانه على الموافقة بنسبة 70% على حضور وحدة عسكرية مجرية إلى كردستان للمساعدة في تدريب البيشمركة. وأؤكد لكم دولة الرئيس أن هؤلاء الضباط والجنود سيكونون مع أصدقائهم ويكونون برعاية كل فرد من أبناء شعب كردستان، ونحن نود أن نشكركم مرة أخرى على ما قدمتموه لنا من دعم، ونتطلع إلى مستقبل مشرق ومفعم بالعمل والإنتاج بيننا، وشكرا جزيلا.
Thank you, Mr. President. And now we have time for a couple of questions. The Hungarian Public TV first, please.
Jó napot kívánok, Mészáros László vagyok a Magyar Televíziótól. Miniszterelnök úrtól kérdezném, hogy milyen elvárásoknak kell megfelelniük azoknak a magyar katonáknak, akik Irakban a kockázatos körülmények között elbírálják.
Elnök úr, talán a legfontosabb, amit érdemes tudni, hogy mi nem vezényeljük oda.
But we will send them if they apply to go there. So first and foremost, they have to be quite courageous, because if they want to go there, they have to be courageous. So we're not sending out certain units, but those people who want to go there, those who apply for this, we put together a unit from these people, and they're going to be serving out there. On one hand, we also need some experience, and as a result of Hungarians' operations in Afghanistan, we do have a lot of experience. On the third place, however, we also want our soldiers to be quite efficient and to be a master of their duty, and wherever they go in the world, they should be able to fight for a respect of the Hungarian name, and I think that our military commitment in Afghanistan was a major deal. So I think that if Hungary is mentioned of a positive in a positive way in the geopolitical arena, then this is certainly for our actions in Afghanistan, because these soldiers who are not too numerous, nevertheless, we very much expect the same thing to do as they did, that they earned a great reputation from Hungary.
Television and Media Network, and my question is to you, Mr. Prime Minister. Hungarian had supported Kurdistan with military skills, and what kind of support for Kurdistan will you see in the future, and how?
Of course, I could also tell you many things, but I think that it would be now the president to say a few words. But if you're asking me this very difficult question, I can tell you that until when I went to secondary school, and if I can remember quite well, Kurds were always respected and appreciated in Hungary. Despite all the political tones and overtones, Hungary and Hungarian nation have suffered a lot, and in general, we Hungarians feel a great sympathy to those countries where history was also full of troubles. We Hungarians had a lot of bloodshed and gave a lot of people for our independence and freedom. So that is why we very much respect those countries who are in the front line of the world when it comes to fighting for their independence and freedom. So I think that there is an historical and a feature which predestines us and the Kurds to be friends. On the other hand, we live in an age, I usually have presentations about that or speeches which then stir a lot of disputes, but we live in a world where nobody can tell quite precisely whether to compete properly or to be a part of the competition, to what extent you have to form, shape and change the states, whether the states have to be centralized, decentralized, whether they need autonomy or central power. These are all open questions today. And the Western world, where there are successful countries, even there, these questions are open questions. And I think that from the disadvantage here, Kurdistan can come out in an advantageous way because there is no historical state which would have a rigid structure and which would make it quite difficult to establish an autonomous state. So I think that Kurdistan has got a great chance to become a modern, state-of-the-art, efficient, because it has a lot of resources, become a successful autonomy and region. Although today it is a dangerous region, and today they have to fight for their lives day by day. That is why also our soldiers go there. But if we look beyond these everyday fights, then I think that the future is quite promising for Hungary. So when we we Hungarians think what would be the time horizon or the depth of this relationship, I think that we vision, in our eyes, we vision cooperation with a successful Kurdistan. Bloomberg. Adil Balázs from Bloomberg. And I would like to ask President Barzani if he is satisfied with the agreement that they concluded with the Iraqi government concerning the payments for the oil, and when do you expect that these payments would be starting to the international companies that work in your country, and by when do you think that the government will be able to repay all the debt, which is about $5 billion US, if you could reconfirm this? So the agreement with the federal government is based on the fact that the Kurdistan region is exporting 55,000 barrels of oil every day, day by day, but the federal government would pay the share of Kurdistan, which is 17%. Kurdistan has respected the contract, but Baghdad has also sent out the agreed amounts to us, but not in the format that we had agreed about. So that's why we hope that both parties will stick to what has been signed in the contract. So if you could repeat the question once again, please. I think I would need a microphone. So my question is that the your debt towards international oil companies, do you think when is going to take place? So because Baghdad has transferred the money, as you mentioned it. Well, if the federal government observes what we have agreed about and sends back the 17%, so if they send it back the 17% to Kurdistan, then we will going to be able to pay the international oil companies. The second solution would be that Kurdistan is selling its own oil directly and would be able to pay the debts from this amount. So the Iraqi federal government would either observe the agreement that we agreed about, or Kurdistan would be selling it straightforward, and we will make. Thank you. Prime Minister mentioned before the issue of immigration. According to Welt am Sonntag, the European Commission tomorrow is going to make a recommendation concerning the asylum seekers. So that means that they're going to set a quota for the member states which are going to regulate as to how many asylum seekers should be accepted into one country or should be allowed to go through a country. This is contrary to the government's position. What's your idea? So this is really the case. So as soon as we receive the draft of the Commission, I'm going to submit it to the Parliament for a debate. So what do you think? Because it would be the same in the same draft, that if there was a legal immigration, there would be a kind of registry system in which one would register as to what kind of trainings or skills the person who is coming to the country is having. Well, this document that we're talking about, the document of the European Commission, is not only dealing with illegal immigration, as you rightly said, but in general, this includes all the various aspects of immigration, so the full horizon, if you like. So this is the document that I'm going to be submitting to the Hungarian government, and I'm going to propose and recommend to the Hungarian parliament and also the public to agree, to discuss which parts are the ones that we agree about and which parts are against the interest of Hungary. I think it's going to be quite an interesting debate. I would very much like to have this debate before June, when the prime ministers will talk about that. So I would like to get to this summit so that I have the full trust of the Hungarian parliament.